The girl turned 6 years old and was different from the other children in the small town. She was very afraid of toys, especially dolls. Glamorous Barbie and all kinds of plastic beauties terrified her. This really annoyed her parents. The local doctors could do nothing about it. So the parents decided to take the girl to the big city, to a clinic. The big city scared the little girl even more because the colorful shop windows were crammed with dolls. She kept crying in fear, and no matter how her parents scolded her, she couldn't control her fear. Her father went to book a hotel room in case they had to stay in the city for a long time. Her mother decided to walk around the shops. The girl, of course, went with her since she didn't want to sit in the car alone. While her mom walked past the shop windows, the girl walked beside her, holding her mother's hand and looking down. She was just too scared to look up at the windows. Finally, her mother liked a big store and went inside. As she walked between the shelves, the girl followed her like a tail, still looking at the floor. "Honey, look, maybe you'll like this," her mother called out to her. The girl looked up at what her mother was showing her. It was a big porcelain doll. The girl was horrified. She screamed and ran away, no longer listening to her mother calling her. The girl ran without looking where she was going. She didn't even notice when she ran out into the road. The cars honked at her. The screeching of brakes deafened her. In horror, the girl covered her eyes with her hands, and it seemed to her that none of the cars would be able to stop and would run her over. But suddenly she felt someone pick her up. Not daring to open her face, she waited to be scolded because she was sure it was her dad. But instead of scolding, she'd heard a pleasant, unfamiliar voice. "Open your eyes, it's all over now." The girl took her hands away. In front of her stood a guy, older than her, quite pleasant looking. His green eyes looked right at her face. He smiled at her. "Why are you like this? The road is a dangerous place to run." The girl started crying again. Through tears, she tried to say that a big doll had scared her. The guy hugged her like a little sister. The girl felt his warmth. Even her mom rarely hugged her like that. "And where's your mom?" "Mom's in the store." "Do you remember which one?" The girl cried even harder. He picked her up. "It's okay, we'll find her." He walked from street to street, approaching different stores, looking for the girl's parents. All this time she sat in his arms. So as not to look at the windows, she combed through his light hair. Finally, he came out on the street where that store was located. Policemen were standing near it. The girl's mother was telling them something in a panic. Noticing the guy with the girl in his arms, she ran up to him and took the girl into her arms. Showering him with gratitude, the woman cried and said that her daughter was sick, apologized. The girl didn't take her eyes off him. He smiled. "What kind of doll is it that scared your little one so much?" There was irony in his words. His gaze made the woman uneasy. He reached out to the girl. She grabbed his hand. He smiled at her. "You don't have to be afraid, because dolls can be good friends for such little princesses." The girl's mother began to speak again about the illness, about how they had come to the city to show her to a doctor. Apologizing again, she approached the policeman, said something to them, and went to the car, pressing the girl's head to her. The girl twisted around and looked back at her mother over her shoulder. The guy was no longer there. The next day, the parents took her to the doctor. He examined the girl for a long time, asked questions. At the end of the examination, the doctor said that the girl's fear was associated with a severe fright earlier. Possibly 3 years ago, someone had frightened her with a doll, and the girl's subconscious had remembered it. The girl's parents left the hospital upset. They hadn't been helped here either. They got into the car and drove back to the hotel. The girl kept looking out the windows. Some streets seemed familiar to her, the ones where that guy had carried her. Along the way, one display caught the girl's attention. She screamed and demanded they stop. Surprised, the parents could not refuse. The girl jumped out of the car and ran to the window display. Her mother hurried after her. Catching up with her daughter, she saw that the girl was staring at a doll box as if spellbound. "Mom, buy it. Buy it." The girl clung to her mother's skirt. The woman peered at the doll. It was a doll of a boy. Light hair fell onto his forehead, slightly covering his green eyes. The affectionate smile was mesmerizing. The girl demanded this particular doll, not from the warehouse, but right from the shop window. Having received the doll, the girl calmed down. Sitting in the car, she pressed the doll to her chest. The girl's mother turned around and looked at her daughter. There was no more fear of dolls in her. It was noticeable. The woman breathed a sigh of relief and turned away. The girl brushed the doll's light hair, feeling the same softness as when that guy had carried her. The girl hugged the doll again. Suddenly, she heard a familiar voice right near her ear. "See what I said? Don't be afraid." The girl looked around. There was no one nearby, but the doll in her hands slightly squeezed her little finger.